We live in an age defined by visibility. Success is often measured not by net worth, but by visible, immediate consumption, the luxury vehicle parked outside, the meticulously curated vacation photos, the designer logos. This is the seductive, dangerous facade of the rich look, broke bank trap. Many people achieve significant income milestones, promotions, raises, business successes, only to find themselves perpetually feeling financially strained, living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes even deeper in debt than they were when they started. The core paradox is simple. Their consumption habits, their definition of necessary expenses, have silently ballooned to precisely match or even exceed their increased earnings. Today, we are dissecting this insidious phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation, understanding how it operates on a psychological level, and equipping you with the precise strategies required to break free from this relentless cycle and secure your financial future, transforming perceived success into actual, enduring freedom. Lifestyle inflation is not a sudden, dramatic event. It is a slow, methodical creep. It happens when non-essential expenses rise proportionately with your income. For instance, you get a $10,000 raise. Instead of dedicating $8,000 of that raise to targeted investments or debt reduction, you incrementally upgrade your daily life, ordering takeout more frequently, moving to a slightly larger apartment with higher rent, or switching from generic brands to premium ones for minor purchases. Crucially, the mind rapidly shifts these upgrades from luxuries to necessities. The psychological baseline for what constitutes a normal standard of living rises, making it incredibly difficult to revert back, even during economic downturns. This constant upward revision of needs ensures that regardless of how much money flows into your bank account, the outflow expands to meet it, keeping your savings rate stagnant and your pathway to financial independence eternally delayed. Understanding this subtle psychological shift is the first step towards building resilience against it. So, why do we engage in this self-sabotage? The root cause is deeply psychological and societal. First, there's the hedonic treadmill, the human tendency to quickly return to a baseline level of happiness, despite major positive or negative events. That initial rush of excitement from a new purchase fades quickly, driving us to seek the next, often bigger, thrill. Second, and perhaps more powerful, is social comparison and the desire for status signaling. In a hyper-connected world, we are constantly viewing idealized lifestyles projected on social media and through targeted advertising. This creates intense pressure to keep up with the Joneses, a phenomenon that has accelerated exponentially, fueled by easily accessible consumer credit. We confuse spending with success. We want the world to perceive us as successful, even if that means borrowing against our future selves to afford the current appearance. This pursuit of validation through material goods is the engine of the rich look, broke bank trap, substituting genuine financial stability for temporary, external approval. The most dangerous time for lifestyle inflation is immediately following a significant income increase. This is the income escalator illusion. When your salary jumps from $60,000 to $90,000, your mind doesn't typically think, I can save $30,000 more. Instead, it sees permission to dramatically restructure consumption. The $1,500 car payment becomes an acceptable $2,500 car payment. The $2,000 apartment becomes a $3,500 mortgage or rent payment. Because the increased cost is now proportional to the increased income, it feels affordable, even responsible. However, this immediate absorption of new income means the critical gap between what you earn and what you spend, your net saving rate, remains dangerously thin. You have merely shifted your financial vulnerability to a higher absolute dollar amount. A minor setback, such as unexpected medical expenses or a period of unemployment, will now require significantly more capital to navigate, and the consequences of those setbacks become proportionally more severe because your fixed expenses are locked in at an elevated, non-negotiable level. This illusion of wealth is exactly what prevents real wealth from accumulating. Let's look at the high-cost culprits that act as the biggest drains on increased income. The primary drivers of lifestyle inflation are housing and transportation, because these represent large, recurring fixed expenses. Upgrading to a slightly nicer neighborhood or buying a prestige vehicle doesn't just cost more upfront, it creates associated costs, higher property taxes, increased insurance premiums, more expensive maintenance, and significantly higher interest payments over the life of the loan. Another silent killer is the aggregation of microtransactions. We often dismiss monthly subscriptions, premium apps, daily expensive coffees, and frequent dining out as minor treats. Individually, they are small, but when aggregated, they form a substantial black hole in the budget, often consuming hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars annually. If you find yourself consistently needing a bigger boat for every success, you are not celebrating. You are structurally committing to higher expenses, thereby diminishing your future financial agility. The illusion that these expenses are necessary for happiness is the most powerful tool the rich look broke bank trap utilizes. The true devastation of lifestyle inflation lies in its opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on an immediate depreciating luxury is a dollar that cannot be invested and compounded over decades. Consider a $500 monthly lifestyle upgrade, perhaps a more expensive car or increased dining expenditure. If that $500 were invested instead, earning a conservative 8.
To combat this psychological force, we must employ structured, mandatory saving hacks. Strategy number 1 is the pay yourself first shield. This is the single most important defense mechanism against lifestyle inflation. When you receive a raise or a bonus, before that money ever hits your checking account, automate a significant portion, ideally 50% or more of the increase, directly into a non-liquid investment account, such as a retirement fund or a diversified index fund. By automating this transfer immediately, you never psychologically integrate that extra money into your discretionary spending budget. Your spending habits automatically adjust to the remaining income, effectively preventing the inflation creep. You are creating a fortress around your wealth accumulation efforts. This practice must be non-negotiable and treated as a fixed expense, just like rent or utility bills. If the money is moved before you see it, you cannot spend it. It's the ultimate preemptive strike against your own consumption tendencies and ensures that your increasing income actually translates into increasing net worth. Strategy number 2 is implementing the 24-hour rule for all significant non-essential purchases. Impulse buying is the catalyst for lifestyle inflation, especially when dopamine rewards are triggered by new purchases. To counter this, impose a mandatory waiting period of 24 to 72 hours before completing any purchase exceeding a predetermined amount, say $100 or $200. During this waiting period, you must actively research the opportunity cost. What could this money earn if I invested it instead? This simple delay serves 2 crucial functions. First, it allows the initial excitement and emotional urgency of the purchase to subside, letting rational thought take over. Second, it forces you to consciously compare the fleeting happiness of the item versus the enduring benefit of investment growth. Often, after the cooling-off period, the desire vanishes and the purchase is abandoned. This rule effectively converts high-risk emotional spending into low-risk deliberate decision-making, significantly throttling the speed and frequency of lifestyle upgrades.
The third critical strategy requires active, intentional lifestyle deflation, identifying and systematically removing vanity spending. This involves a deep, often uncomfortable, audit of your monthly expenses, categorizing every outgoing dollar into one of 2 buckets: necessary, shelter, sustenance, essential transportation, or vanity, things purchased solely for status, fleeting pleasure, or convenience that duplicates an existing function. Be ruthless in identifying items that primarily serve to signal status rather than improve quality of life. Do you need the premium cable package, or is basic streaming sufficient? Is the $8,000 annual car lease truly necessary for your commute, or would a reliable, lower-cost vehicle suffice? Once identified, reduce or eliminate the vanity items. This isn't about deprivation, it's about reallocation. By intentionally deflating your standard of living in areas that do not contribute to long-term fulfillment or financial stability, you free up substantial capital that can be immediately redeployed into wealth-generating assets. This process shifts your focus from external validation to internal security. Finally, we introduce strategy number 4, adopting the freedom metric. To successfully counter the allure of status spending, you must replace the external measure of success, the rich look, with an internal, objective measure, time freedom. Instead of focusing on your net worth as a dollar amount, calculate your financial runway, the number of months you could survive comfortably if all income streams suddenly stopped. Every time you are tempted by lifestyle inflation, calculate how that purchase impacts your runway.
Does buying that expensive item shorten your runway by 2 months, or does investing that money extend your runway by 3 months? This metric provides immediate, tangible feedback on the value of your disciplined choices. True wealth is not measured by the size of your house, but by the size of your options. By prioritizing the accumulation of time freedom, the ability to choose how, when, and where you work, you shift the entire focus of your financial efforts away from consumption and toward liberation. This is the fundamental mindset shift that separates those who look rich from those who truly are rich.
The difference between controlling lifestyle inflation and letting it control you is the difference between achieving financial independence early and working indefinitely. If you successfully capture and invest the financial increase that would have otherwise been swallowed by lifestyle creep, you are creating compound growth. This means your money is working exponentially for you. Conversely, if you consistently succumb to inflation by taking on more debt or committing to higher fixed expenses, you are experiencing compound debt and compound stress. The gap between these two trajectories widens dramatically over time. Those who maintain a consistent, moderate lifestyle while their income rises accelerate rapidly towards their goals. They may appear modest to the outside world, but they possess powerful, growing portfolios. The truly wealthy often drive older cars and live in sensible homes because they understand the secret. They prioritize assets that produce income over liabilities that consume it. They choose invisible security over visible validation, ensuring their future remains protected and expansive.
Breaking the rich look, broke bank trap requires vigilance, structure, and a deep commitment to future self-care. Recognize that the impulse to spend is an evolutionary tendency, amplified by modern marketing and social pressure. Fight back with systemized defense mechanisms. Automate your savings, enforce buying delays, ruthlessly audit vanity expenses, and measure your success by the expansion of your freedom metric, not the accumulation of goods. Your goal is not to look rich, it is to become irrevocably rich, meaning your income is decoupled from your labor, and your time belongs entirely to you. Start today by implementing the Pay Yourself First shield on your very next paycheck. Take control of your income before your lifestyle dictates where it goes. True wealth is silent, patient, and liberating. Choose freedom over status. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on building genuine financial power. Share this video with someone who needs to break free from the